Jothos Slint saw Tyrion pour out the rest of the poisoned wine as Joff was dying. See, I told you. I fucking told you. I fucking told your ass. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's Song, Ice and Fire series. As always, I'm your host Zach, and sitting here with me, my brother Nate.
I made it look like I was going to talk for like 5 seconds because of the long pause that Zach took at the end of his intro.
He also looked like he might have been swallowing a huge dick. It was just, it was wild, dude. So, yeah, hey, we read Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series. Hey, listeners.
And it's full spoiler.
It's full spoiler.
So if somebody takes an enormous dick, we're going to tell you about it.
We're going to tell you all about it.
Can't help it.
The girth, the width.
If you joined us last episode, there was not penis involved.
There certainly wasn't. It's an Arya chapter. There's no penis allowed.
That's right. Arya 12.
Arya
and
12.
So we finally got to pick up with her after the mysterious ending of her Red Wedding chapter.
You thought she was dead, didn't you fool?
But if you knew that this was a full spoiler podcast, we would have told you she ain't dead.
Times, yeah.
She ain't dead. And so we got to see her grieving and depressed for a couple of weeks with the Hound, who was also depressed. I don't know about the grieving part so much there.
No.
But much more. He was definitely depressed.
He's lost.
And so shit, what did they do? I remember the village at the end.
They wandered the Riverlands.
Oh, they killed
for
the
a
dude.
bit, and
Mark
then
Piper's
they
man.
came upon a Piper man, and he was all mangled from the Red Wedding. So they gave him the gift of mercy as well as some water, but mercy mostly. And then they debated on what to do. At first, he wanted to take Arya to the Bloody Gate to Lysa, but they then came upon a village and were recommended against that course of action because the clans of the Mountains of the Moon are well armed now and they're being fucking bold as shit.
Thanks, Lannisters.
And so after the Hound helped them with their current project, they were advised to move the fuck on, that the Hound isn't wanted. And so they continued their ranging, heading again kind of vaguely for River Run. Arya suggested the wall, and the Hound was like, nah, fuck that shit. It's
fuck
too
the wall.
Far.
She's
far.
like, but my brother. And he's like, fuck brothers.
Fuck the wall, put a glory hole in there, and just fuck the shit out of it.
Whoa, jeez, with the penis today.
I mean, you started this
We are
shit.
not reading Arya today.
We are reading a chapter more likely to have some penis
That's
in it.
very
It does.
true.
He does fondle himself in it. Tyrion.
Does he?
He does, yeah, in the jail cell. He grabs his dick, starts thinking of Shay, and can't get it going.
Oh, I must have just blanked that out of my head.
Tyrion 9 is the episode chapter we're reading today. Tyrion is
He's
in
in
some
jail.
trouble. He's in trouble. Last Tyrion 8, was the Purple Wedding, y'all.
Yeah.
Joffrey was clawing at his throat. He was being a little coos at his wedding. It was all glitz and glamour until it wasn't.
I thought you were going to call him a cunt, not a coos.
He's a
I
cunt
like
and a
that.
coos.
I
He's
like
a koozy cunt.
A koozy cunt.
There was, it was the Oscars of King's Landing. Everybody who's anybody's
Right.
there.
Got seen on the red carpet, heading on
Done
into
out
the...
in the 9s. It was a glamorous ordeal. There was something like fucking 88 courses. It was nonsense. Sansa was very distracted. There's a whole dais full of people who could have done it, and then it became a whodunit because Joffrey started choking on his pigeon pie, ?
No, there
Nope.
was no pigeon pie.
He was poisoned. There was pigeon pie.
Not inside his throat.
That's correct. But we don't learn that until officially later when we actually
Right.
get testimony. But Tyrion 9, we're at the trial. Are you ready? You're on trial. Better have a good fucking lawyer.
But Tyrion is not at the trial.
This one opens. All right. So I literally like LOL'd. Picture little me just hee as I started reading this chapter because Kevin wants so bad to be Tywin. He even does his version of Tyrion. But it's more like Tyrion.
Tyrion. Tyrion.
And
All
so
right, Kevin.
they're chatting in Tyrion's cell about Tyrion's guilt and whether or not he's done this thing. And Tyrion asks who is going to be standing against him as judges. And we learn that Tywin has graciously asked Mace Tyrell and Oberyn Martell to sit in judgment with him. And Tyrion's like, well, shit, because Mace is Marjorie's father, Joffrey's good father, and Oberyn is he's a snake.
He's the viper.
He's a snake.
He's a snake.
Slippery little snake.
I got in my head when I was reading this chapter for some reason that Kevin was once left home alone at Casterly Rock for like a whole family vacation.
A McAllister.
And robbers started coming in,
Dude.
and he just trapped up that whole castle. And that's the only reason that Tywin lets him stick around like his little puppy is because he's like, shit, you held down his fort against some robbers?
This whole
Nice.
read through, I've been all right with Kevin. We've been boys. But this chapter really, like, he's a punk bitch.
He's a little bitch.
And, like,
yes.
he wants to be Tywin
I'm
so
glad
bad.
you're saying it, because the whole read through, I've loved Kevin. He's
Yeah,
cracked
like-
me up. It's been fun. And you'll even see a little bit here, he seems to give a shit about Tyrion.
Until he doesn't. And,
then
like,
all
the
of a sudden,
switch, yeah.
he's just like, no. Go to the fucking wall. Your dad said, stop being a bitch, Tyrion. But we're not there
Yeah,
yet.
no, we're not there yet. Tyrion asks if he'll be allowed trial by combat. He is, but should he do so, Cersei means to name Sir Gregor Clegane as her champion. And Tyrion thinks, damn, the bitch checks my moves before I've even made them. And, like, yes, that's how chess is played,
So,
Tyrion.
yes, I agree. What fucking move, like, you're gonna get checked by... You have a history of
You've
this.
already
You've
done
this. She knows that you are going to call Jaime or Bronn.
And it's surprising that he doesn't see that coming.
That's
he
where-
doesn't see Sir Gregor being her
Why
champion.
would she not?
Because she's picking Sir Gregor or Jaime.
Right.
And, like, both of you can't pick Jaime because he's down a hand, and you also don't know he's in the city.
Or down a hand.
Or
Yeah.
down a hand, yeah, correct. But, like, yeah, I don't...
So him acting like she has this foresight
like, oh,
here,
man,
she
Cersei's
checked
real
my
clever.
move,
Like,
she got me.
eh.
No, she checked your move. Next chapter of Tyrion, when she brings Shay in.
Yeah.
That's checking
yeah.
your move, bitch. But Kevin does tell him there's a long list of witnesses building up
It's
against
the scene
you.
from Airplane where the line, it's just panning the line of people
Right,
waiting
just
to testify
going
against
and
you.
going.
Yeah.
He goes, but you can call witnesses
Right,
if you want.
You gotta name your own witnesses.
Here's a notebook and here's a pen.
And he's
Start
like,
writing.
shit, I gotta speak to Bronn. And he's like, will I be allowed to go and collect my witnesses? And Kevin's like, you're accused of fucking regicide, and you think that
We're gonna let you
we're
free
gonna
walk
let
the
you
castle.
just walk around, dude? Like,
yeah.
no. And yeah, he points to the writing desk. He's like, you've got ink, you've got quill, you've got parchment. Write that shit down, and I will bring them to you. So Tyrion asks for his squire Pod.
Podrick.
Kevin says that he'll send him, and as Kevin is leaving, Tyrion tells him, Uncle, I did not do this.
Uncle.
And Kevin's like, yeah, I wish I
Tyrion.
could believe you, Tyrion. And then he fucking jazz hands his way out, and it's the last cool thing Kevin Lannister ever does.
Jazz hands his way out of the
Yes,
jail
yes.
cell. Fuck yeah. So Pod does show up.
Yep.
As
Tyrion sits to write, and the page is blank when Pod
Sansa.
shows. Like, he's like, it's a SpongeBob thing where he's fucking, and some of these, and some of these. But
and
that's
you turn the paper and it's a stick
It's
figure.
just Sansa. It's
just
Sansa,
one
but
little-
the S is all fucking ornate. It's not even Sansa yet, though, because by the
Right,
time
nothing.
Pod shows up, the page is Maiden. And so, yeah, he hasn't written shit. He tells Pod to fetch Bronn, because Bronn is his last fucking hope, and tell him that there's more gold in it for him than he has ever dreamed. Which, also, like, how are you getting him that gold? But,
Dude,
you know,
there's a number of times where he's gonna, I'll pay you. Do you really think
Dad
that your
is gonna-
father
right.
is going to give
the
you
guy
access
who
to the
is
Casterly Rock
who
vaults?
is the main judge against you.
The fuck are you thinking?
Tyrion
dude?
is so far up Schitt's Creek, and he's being so dumb about it. He's not really... Let that sink in, Tyrion. It's a knockin', and you're just refusing entry to this.
This is his privilege of,
Yeah,
I've always
yeah.
been rich. I am still, even though I'm in jail for murdering the king that I didn't kill, I still have access to everything
Yeah.
I've ever
And
had.
he's still throwing around, like, Lannisters pay their debts. Like, bitch, the Lannisters want nothing to do with you.
See, I think this chapter, more than anything, shows how little Tyrion
Whoa.
actually has.
Not the short jokes,
and
dude.
is
Whoa.
is how little he has
Yeah.
when he's not a Lannister.
Yeah.
Without that name, he's just a dwarf in this cell.
Yeah.
They won't even they're giving him paper and a pencil, and that's it. I don't care how much money you used to have in here now after what you've been accused of doing.
You're just a small folk.
You're just a small folk.
Yeah. Pun sort of intended.
Yeah.
Pod goes and does not return that day. He's gone. So Tyrion is waiting and falls asleep in his window seat, which also, again, there's a window seat in your cell. So, like, privilege is still there. Because this isn't the dungeons. This isn't the black cells. This is
a common thing here, too, of people brooding in the window seat, looking out on the city. Sansa did it in the when she was locked up here in King's Landing. Ton of people have just sat. We had Cat doing
King's
it back
Landing
in the day.
is beautiful to look at, not so much fun to be in. So when his serving man comes the following morning to collect his breakfast bowl, he asks if he's seen his squire, and the serving man says that he has not. So he sits to write again, and he pulls his SpongeBob and some of these, and just gets Sansa down. Assuming Joffrey didn't choke, he thinks it had to have been Sansa.
Right, he's convinced it was her.
She has motive, she had access, but where the fuck? And he thinks any doubts he would have had about her doing it vanished when she did, which I just like that. But where the fuck would she have gotten the poisons to do this?
He does have a brief thought on she wouldn't have been able to do this alone. Sansa isn't the one that's sneaking around places. She goes to the Godswood, and that's about it by herself.
She's not a plotter. She's not a schemer. I mean, at this point, we can say it. Everyone in King's Landing thinks Sansa's pretty dumb. Like, she's not the one to pull together this elaborate plan. And he thinks, even if she did do it alone, Cersei would never believe that they didn't conspire together.
Because he wants to, obviously, since she's the only name written on the paper, he wants to call her as the witness, as a... See, she fucking did it, not me.
Right, and like that, like Sansa's gonna stand there and be like, yeah,
it was
you
me.
got me.
He had nothing to do with it.
You got me. Tyrion's cool, though.
Tyrion's the best of you.
He was the best husband I ever had. You know, wink, wink. And, like, yeah, Tyrion, again, is being pretty dumb, and it's been carrying over for a couple chapters now. And he gets all, like, bitter, too. He's like, so much for our vows. That meant so much to both of us.
Yeah,
like,
he really, in here, is just kind of...
He's spiraling
down
hard.
In what he's with his money, thinking he has funds, which
and
will bring up
I
to
keep
Bronn.
calling him dumb. Martin is intentionally showing he's fucking spiraling.
And that I really like that. He's pointing the finger at Sansa. He doesn't. Not once does he consider the Queen of Thorns or any of the Tyrells.
Nope. An actual plot, like someone who's scheming for fucking gain and
for the
benefit.
guy that did the hat trick early on in the series, who was plotting and scheming.
It's his dick, man, because that he focuses more on his past wives and loves and shit in this chapter than he does thinking about, like, if it's not me, then who?
Right, and if it's not me or Sansa, because that you would think that as little time as they have spent together, he's gotten to know Sansa enough to know she's timid. She's willing to sit there and lie through her teeth and play the game.
Buried in grief.
And so where is she going?
Crushed under her grief. Like, this girl, he hears her sobbing. Like, when, she's plotting between sobs. Like, I'm going to kill the king. Like, shut the fuck up, Tyrion. You think, little man. Like, you have it. You've got the brain in there. You're just not using it. So, Kevin is surprised, of course.
Kevin, come back.
That Sansa is the only one he named, and he's like, Cersei has a fucking laundry list of witnesses against you. Sansa, of course, is already being looked for. She's wanted. Varys has put out a fucking bounty for her, for any info on her, let alone her actual, like, being brought to them. And Kevin's like, so I see no harm in husband and wife sharing a cell together, sharing a shell by the seashore.
Hell yeah. I think that with him being told that Varys has this bounty out, that's when he should start going, shit. Maybe I should think about people who is capable of keeping a secret from Varys.
Getting her away.
I can see Cersei.
Sansa isn't doing that alone.
Peter. That's about the two in this entire series.
And Cersei ain't going to kill her own son. So that limits you. I mean, and again, if he was thinking, maybe the Queen of Thorns, maybe the Tyrells.
Right, he even mentions...
Oberyn, the two at your judge's table. And that's what's wild to me, is that it would make a lot of sense. We know he's a buffoon. If Mace Tyrell was behind this. He poisons Joffrey, and then he sits in judgment against the one accused. Like, it's that perfect... And Oberyn even points that out.
At the opposite end of the table, Oberyn has literally had a conversation with you, Tyrion, about your monstrosity of a family.
And will, at the end of this chapter, point it out of, like, thank God it was you, because if it wasn't you, they were coming after me.
Exactly. And it's that, like...
hide in plain sight.
Start looking at shit,
and
Tyrion.
He's not.
So he does ask again that pod be sent to him since he still hasn't returned from when Tyrion asked him to search.
Kevin's like, did he not come? And he's like, he came, and then he went. And Kevin's like, well, I'll send him again, I guess. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's becoming an asshole now.
Yeah. So it's the next morning when both Pod and Bronn appear. Bronn is decked out in all sorts of rich garment.
I like that Pod, when he enters, Martin says that he's clearly scared.
Yeah.
Little Padre.
He knows that Bronn refused
Bronn's not,
six times over.
That, because he had to, I mean, it took him everything he could to convince him to come and talk to him.
Bronn admits, he's like, I only came because the lad begged.
Right.
Like, and it was probably pathetic, and, like, it was making a scene, so he showed up. Bronn is to be wed to Lawless Stokeworth, and so, like, what are you offering me?
Right, and so Bronn also mentioned that the other reason he came is you once told me
if
that anybody tries to buy me, let you know because you'll pay me
money
double.
Talks.
And he tells him, yeah, I'll definitely do that. But again, he doesn't have anything to fucking offer.
I'm short on castles. I'm short on, because Tyrion tries quite a few tactics here. He's like, Lawless is simple and dumb, and she's pregnant with,
somebody else's kid.
The product of rape.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, okay, so she'll pop that kid out, and I'll put another one in her. No biggie there. Then Tyrion's like, well, she's not even set to inherit. And then he's like, yeah, but, if something happens to Felice, well, then she is, huh? Wink, wink. So Bronn plans on, dealing with that and becoming the inheritor of Castle Stokeworth. So that's no issue for him. And then Tyrion wonders if Cersei knows or cares that she's given Lady Tonda a serpent, which, again, is stupid. He knows that Cersei has such disregard for
Tonda.
Stokeworth,
yeah.
like, especially Lawless. Like,
right.
She views her as kind of getting what she deserved for being such an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Tyrion can't offer any castles or maidens, only gold and gratitude.
And he offers
gold is even a
castle
question
in the future.
Mark. Gold is even a question mark.
Because he does I'm married to Sansa. One day I'll be in charge of the whole North.
Your wife that no one can find.
That everyone believes helped you murder the king.
And
so
maybe one day I can cut you out a large part of the North. And Bronn even says, maybes, what ifs, one days. Like, what can I do with gold and gratitude when, I've got Lawless, and Lawless is close and warm. And Bronn even says, I like you well enough, but he loses here either way if he fights for Tyrion. Right. Either he dies to Sir Gregor, or he loses Lawless, which has been promised him. And both are... Well, I mean, dying to the mountain is fucking horrifying. Right. Lawless is already more than he could have ever hoped for.
That's what I was going to say.
Sword.
He was just a mercenary. He wasn't a lord. He wasn't anything. There was no hope he would ever end up with a lady, whether it's Lawless or not.
Yeah. Tyrion has that thought himself of, like, being a lowborn nothing, normally it would be scoffed upon to marry someone like Bronn. But because Lawless is kind of damaged goods, which is awful to say because she was raped by the mob, right. But that's the way this society views her. She was even offered to Tyrion before then because she's the second daughter, she's not as important, and so, yeah, Bronn is already shooting way higher than he should be, and so Tyrion kind of sees that he's fucked, and so Bronn asks him what he'll do. And Tyrion says he'll have to kill the mountain himself, and won't that be a song? And Bronn kind of sadly says, I do hope to hear them sing it. Like, I don't begrudge you any ill will or anything.
That he does actually mean it when he says that he's grown fond of him.
He likes
we're
him.
Friends,
yeah, we're friends,
sure.
But
I'm not going to go lose a losing battle for you.
Not to mention, to say no at this point to Cersei, you make an enemy of the queen.
Right.
Like, Cersei has clearly laid all this out to him.
Right, just by siding with you, allowing yourself to champion for, even if you win, that wins Tyrion his freedom. It says he is innocent in the eyes of the gods, but not in the eyes of Cersei.
And not in of any
or
the
kingdom.
Tywin.
Nobody in that kingdom is going to believe.
And we learn this from Oberyn later, that Cersei is making and wheeling and dealing with all of these witnesses. And so, yeah, it's straight up. You're gaining the ill will of the queen and the hand of the king. Like, that's not fucking good for anybody. So Bronn gets up and leaves for good and all. And I really like the finality that Martin puts it with, where Bronn gets up, walks out of his cell, the castle, and his life. And like, yeah, that's pretty much it. We do hear whisperings of Bronn at Castle Stokeworth, and I do hope he pops up again in Winds of Winter or Spring. But
Sure he will. I do also like that when Bronn was mentioning, his fighting the Mountain, he says, I can dance around him and poke at him through the armor until he runs out of stamina, and that's that.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Oberyn
will
does.
be doing.
Obviously, it clearly doesn't matter. There's still that risk that Bronn would have been the one grabbed and had his head squeezed.
The Mountain is
popped.
freakishly strong. He knows how to fight. I also did like this scene in the show. I thought it was really well done. I liked the actor they got for Bronn, and that when he's doing the, like, I could dance around him, but one misstep, and he does the snap, and, like, that's pretty much
the
what
sound that Oberyn's eyes make when they pop.
It's what happens. It's a fucking snap of the finger, and Oberyn is down, head crushed. Right. And so Bronn isn't wrong. He doesn't miss here a single time.
He doesn't let
he says to Tyrion.
Confidence get in his way.
He said, I sell my sword. I don't give it away. For gratitude or your fool's gold that you're offering right now. So Tyrion is debating his options. Do I send Pod after Shagga? Well, he's in the Kingswood, and the Kingswood has many places to hide, so that could take fucking forever.
Much longer than by tomorrow when the trial date
Maybe Timett, some of Timett, but he's likely in the Vale by now, so that's not likely.
Getting ready to chase down the Hound and Arya.
And so he, figures out that trial by combat is off the table. So, actual trial then. Sir Kevin returns. Sansa hasn't been found, nor has Sir Dantos the Fool, who it's assumed helped her escape. And so Tyrion doesn't really know how to doesn't know how to prove he didn't poison Joffrey when 1,000 people saw him fill the cup.
Right.
And so that's the point here, Tyrion is, and he's not seeing that. He's not trying to lawyer for himself. He's not like...
And that, in my opinion, was also a big part of the Tyrell's plans and the Queen of Thorns is we're going to make it such a
That's what
public
Littlefinger
thing.
said during Sansa's.
Right, is that
look at the animosity between these two. How can Tyrion not kill him?
Right.
Like, that's why Littlefinger hired the dwarves, the jousters.
Right,
like,
to just add that angst.
Throw more fucking fuel on that fire.
He can't sleep that night.
Right.
Obviously.
So he fondles himself.
He tries, but he probably couldn't finish then either. Before he knows it, Adam Marbrand's there to fucking...
Well, I like this because he's going through his ghosts. He goes through, he sees Tysha and her warm smile. He sees Sansa. He sees Joffrey. He sees Cersei, Bronn, and Shae. And it's just all the people that have been weighing on him this entire book. But now in this one night, it's the true... And I do like that Tysha's thrown in there because Tysha becomes kind of the big one at the end of this book, where the whores go is the driving. So it's just a fun kind of, it's Arya's list in a chapter where we don't usually have a list of names.
Right.
And then, suddenly it's the trial. Adam Marbrand is like, what up, dude? I'm here with the Gold Cloaks. We're your escort. And Tyrion's like, am I not part of the royal family? Is it not the Kingsguard anymore? And, of course, Tywin doesn't think it's proper because most of the Kingsguard are witnesses against you. Whoopsie. And Tyrion's like, oh, well, yeah, we wouldn't want to be improper, so let's hunky-dory do it.
So Adam escorts him to the throne room, which is where we find out the trial will be held.
Yeah.
And it's fucking packed in there.
Sure
wall to wall, every pew, standing room isn't even available.
Yeah, no, these are the hot tickets now. I mean, fuck the wedding. Like, we want the trial.
I like that he very quickly notices Marjorie being upset about grieving another fucking king that's died.
Widowed twice before, and she's only 16.
Along with her mother, grandmother.
Mother and
grandmother. Yeah.
And her whole little retinue.
All her little ladies in waiting. And then at the dais beneath the Iron Throne is Mace Tyrell, Tywin, and Oberyn.
I also do like the next chapter we'll learn Jaime is in here somewhere.
Yes,
Tyrion
I did enjoy
just
that.
Doesn't get to recognize him.
Up against the wall in the back, and nobody recognizes him here.
So the High Septon prays his little prayers because he's so fucking useful. And then they begin, and I like the phrasing here.
He says a prayer to the Father above, as well as the Father below.
Well, then the Father below begins
right
to talk, and that's Tywin. And so Tywin just straight up asks, Tyrion, did you kill the king? Tyrion answers, no. Did Sansa Stark? And he says, no, the gods did. He choked on his pigeon pie.
Does Tyrion equate Tywin to godhood?
Yes.
With that, like,
yes.
That's obviously,
like, the Father below, the Father above, yeah.
And then for him to say, the gods killed the prince, or the king, to kill Joffrey. And so it's that, like...
Yeah, Tyrion is not the only one who equates Tywin to a god. He is fucking deified this entire goddamn chapter. Like, and so, yeah, the gods did it. And then Mace is like, so you would blame the bakers? And he's like, or the pigeons, just leave me out of it. And that gets a chuckle. And Tyrion's like, fuck, like, I can't be witty and clever here. It's going to get me in trouble.
I do like when Tywin asks, did you do it? And he says no. And Oberyn's like, well, and that clears this up. Great, let's go. Let's have some fucking drinks.
Oberyn so much. Tywin then says that they'll hear the witnesses. And here we go. Sir Balon Swann, put the fucking respect on.
Put the respect on Balon. He's the only honest motherfucker around
Sir Balon Swann of the Kingsguard is first, and he said, I fought beside your son on the Battle of the Bridges, the boats, during the Blackwater. He fought admirably, honorably, and I refuse to believe he did this thing. And Tyrion's like, that's weird for
That's not the witness that I would expect.
For one of Cersei's. And then he finds out why, because after Balon is Meryn Trant, and that's when Tyrion starts to see Cersei's plan to begin with an honest man, and each man after would tell a worse and worse tale until he's painted as evil as Maegor the Cruel.
But also starting with the Kingsguard. It's not just Balon Swann. Then comes
the ones who have access.
Trant, then Boris Blount, the Kettle Blacks, all three of them bitches, and they all come in weaving a little bit more dastardly tale of Tyrion.
Tyrion keeps outbursting, claiming this one's a lie, or fuck you, that wasn't how it happened, until eventually Cersei's like, Father, please, have him chained and fettered for your protection. And Oberyn's like,
protection?
The day I fear a dwarf, unarmed, is a sad day indeed, so,
I do like the way that Cersei has fixed this all up, where all these little lies that they're telling are based in truth. They're based on these things that he pulled.
Owning his shit. Even down to this, where it's put him in fetters and stuff for your protection. His outbursts are only playing into her hand, making him look feral and savage and uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. She has rigged this shit perfectly, and Cersei absolutely is playing this perfectly to make him look as guilty as fucking possible, which Oberyn will also point out later. So they break for the night. It's the trial of the century, so it's going to be a while.
Right.
So that night he thinks of his wife, the whore wife, not the wolf wife, and he thinks of how, she never loved him, but it was still sweet and all that.
Again, we know that Jaime didn't actually...
There's a quote here that I wrote that is, give me sweet lies and keep your bitter truths. And it's very similar to a quote that Littlefinger will have, which is, feed 'em lies and arbor gold. It's just, a bitter truth is hard to swallow. A lot of people...
They're more willing to listen to
He told Jon Snow the same fucking thing that, most men would rather just listen to a sweet truth than the bitter truth. He told that to Jon about the wall.
Grumpkins and shit. They don't want to hear about these nasty, scary nightmares.
And
so
now here he is reverting to just this, no, I'd rather believe in the bullshit.
Obviously, this goes into the whole theme that Martin's planted since day one, that the truth is written by the victors. Mm-hmm. And so whoever's winning is who people are going to listen to and believe.
So that night when Kevin shows up, because he has, nothing going on, so he just goes and visits each of the, prisoners.
Hell yeah.
Tyrion asks for Varys, and Kevin says that he will send him. And so the next morning, Maesters Valabar and Franken open the second day. They had found nothing in the king's throat when they opened it, so they declare it poison.
Right. They did the autopsy, and they didn't find shit.
Pycelle is next, and he has a whole little table with all of his poisons laid out, and he's naming them one by one for some fucking reason.
Just to show how smart he fucking is.
And when Tyrion stupidly is like, yeah, Pycelle, none of the potions you named do as was claimed how Joffrey died. And Pycelle's like, that's because you used it all to kill the noblest child the gods put on this good earth. Like, Pycelle's fucking selling it. But
and he names it as the Strangler.
Tyrion fell right into this stupid fucking trap. So, like, God, it's, like, frustrating how just he's so lost in his rage and his hate and his despair that he's just not seeing these little traps that are being laid for him. This one especially annoyed me. And then, yeah, I love Pycelle's. Like, because you used it all to kill the noblest child. Like, the noblest child, Joffrey fucking Barat. Like, maybe Tommen or Marcella I could buy, but...
Yeah, throwing that shit out that way. Tyrion gets reprimanded again for shouting out.
He tells him, Joffrey was cruel and stupid, but I did not kill him. Have my head if you want, but I had no hand in this. And again... You're just digging your grave.
Right. We get it that you never liked Joffrey, but by continuing to double down on I think he's a piece of shit. Yeah, I would have killed him if I got the chance, but I didn't get the chance this time. This wasn't my turn.
This wasn't no me.
They then bring out the whole fucking slew, every wedding guest that was there, except Dantos and Sansa.
Yeah. They all attended the wedding. They all saw the king die in one way or another. Lady Merryweather swears she saw Tyrion put something into the king's wine. Jothos Slint saw Tyrion pour out the rest of the poisoned wine as Joff was dying. See, I told you. I fucking told you. I fucking told your ass.
I still don't get what the fuck they're gonna do with this tasteless, scentless poison.
All right, so literally in the next chapter... Jaime is like, hey, dumb bitch. Hey, you stupid bitch. You're going to be Tommen's taste tester. What makes you think these people are beyond taking some random-ass small folk peasant piece of shit and being like, drink this?
They could have him lick the fucking
bottom
dredges.
And like, oh, he's dead. Yep, it's poisoned.
I guess that's the closest we'll get to some DNA sampling.
It's just more proof in the pudding. Like, Cersei is taking every fucking angle she can with this, man. And like, down to... Lady Merryweather, who I love that we get this reference because she'll be very important next book. I'm pretty sure that was just a coach, like Cersei told her to say this type of thing. And like, damn, like they are going for the fucking jugular, and I love it. And so, yeah, fucked. Kevin visits that night and is quite cold and obviously now believes that Tyrion is guilty. And Tyrion's like, Uncle, I'm very curious. Like, what is it that convinced you? Because you were pretty, amicable before. And he's like, why take the poisons if not to use them, Tyrion? And for some reason, Tyrion doesn't just say, oh, because I used them to give Cersei the shits.
Coupled with Pycelle's also a sneaky snake.
Cunt.
He's dangerous to have,
and he was fucking me over.
So he was going to use them on others.
He doesn't open, like, there's no reason to hide those things that he did anymore.
No, right. You think I poisoned the king? Well, I did poison Cersei with she's going to shit her brains out.
I needed her out of commission, so I gave her the flu for 2 days. And then, Pycelle, I had enough of his shit. And so I had him imprisoned, and like, there's fucking records.
Was there ever Tears of the Strangler in there? Did he ever?
I believe so. I do think. I don't know if it's called out, but I know he had like poisons in there.
Because that's what my next thing is. He, unless they went back and took all of them and then just removed the Strangler from it or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, either it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, yeah.
And so Kevin tells him, confess. You need to confess, and your father will let you take the black. And he's like, yeah, that went so well last time that somebody tried to do that. And he's like, yeah, that's because Tywin wasn't fucking here.
That was Cersei's doing, God and Joffrey's doing. And yeah, then Tyrion is like, yeah, so I'm supposed to believe that, he'll accept my apology, forgive me, and send me off. And
Tyrion.
Kevin's like, I said nothing about forgiveness. Your father is a fucking rock god. You understand that? Like, he's a superstar. He's an icon. He's a diva. And we should all fucking worship him like I do. Because the simp behavior from Kevin here is next fucking level.
Yeah, you finally can see the pure dedication that he has to his brother and the family, but more so to Tywin and just what Tywin has forced him to do. I mean, he's been groomed to be a family man.
And right, because Tywin saved took over for their father, because he avenged, their mother's, the whore taken.
Yeah, he claims that
what is the fucking
their
reasoning
dad
here?
was a soft, weak man who had driven
the
Lannisters.
We do know that.
Right.
He was a fucking putz.
And he drove the Lannisters into the ground as a house. Tywin had enough of that. And again, he makes it seem like it was this big, for the glory of the house. No, it's because he didn't want to be a little bitch and he got tired of being laughed at.
Yeah, his ego was hurt, and
right.
so he fucking took a stand, and apparently that makes him a godsend.
That's how you ascend to godhood.
Yeah, and so he says, he's as stern as he needs to be, no crueler than he needs to be. And then he fucking waxes poetic about how, he worked for years under the Mad King and got no credit for it, Tyrion. No credit. None. And it was just thankless, and he deserves our love and adoration. By the way, Nate is the Kevin of our duo. And he just deserves everything we have to give him. And Tyrion is genuinely taken aback by it. He's like...
Right, so... For the first thing, I would never compliment you or worship you.
Well, not to my face.
Second, it's even worse. I mean, go listen to the Girls Gone Canon podcast when I was on their show. I talked mad shit about you.
I've listened to every episode.
And I talked mad shit about you.
You were all right.
But regardless of that, he allowed the Mountain to brutally rape and murder Elia and her kids.
Diva.
He sacked King's Landing.
Superstar, icon.
For the king that he served. He is known and renowned for being a ruthless and intelligent strategist.
Sure.
So all this respect that he's claiming he doesn't get.
Stannis is a better strategist.
We know that.
Yeah.
The whole kingdom thinks that Tywin is God's gift to fucking Westeros. And so to say he didn't get the respect he's due... From who?
Right.
Because Tyrion thinks he's a fucking asshole?
Most people will admit that Tywin was the one holding the realm together during Aerys' reign.
Right.
A lot of people understand that it was the hand of the king who was fucking making shit happen back then. And so, yeah, Kevin is so far up his own, and then Tywin's his head is up his own ass, and then his whole body is up Tywin's ass, that he actually does know if Tywin shit's gold. And it fucking is insane.
Love him.
Insane. And right, Tyrion's like, wow, you actually love that prick. Like, holy shit.
He is my brother.
He's my brother.
That doesn't mean shit.
That don't mean shit.
And not because of how much I can't stand you. The last chapter, Arya and the Hound.
Right.
Arya brought up my brother.
Right.
Yes, we know Arya has a great relationship with her brother. The Hound is like,
fuck that.
I got one of them
Fuck
too.
That.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And so we know the relationship between brothers can vary wildly.
And while, obviously we tolerate each other, we do a podcast, listeners, you may not know, there's a third brother in this,
That's true.
So, right, not all relationships are hunky-dory. Also, I do want to quickly jump back to Pycelle's poisons, because there's a fun...
Pycelle's poisons. That just sounds like a pharmacy you would go to. Let's
sure
stop on down to Pycelle's poisons.
Because there's a fun theory that Tywin is poisoned at probably this moment in time, and that's what's leading to his death, because Pycelle mentions a specific poison that basically, I am plugged up. It blocks a man up so that he can't shit, and then he basically is poisoned by his own fucking innards, and Tywin is famously on the toilet as he's sitting there trying to force it out, and it just won't come. And so it's just a fun little, that poison gets called out specifically, and then Tywin dies on the privy. Lots of fun theories about maybe Tywin is already poisoned. He is sitting next to a known poisoner at that table.
Yeah.
And so, just fun. But, Kevin, fuck you. Get out. And Tyrion's like, I'll think on what you said, Uncle. But all night, he does think on it, but the thought of confessing makes him fucking ill. And it's the Ned Stark thing. I didn't do this, so why the fuck should I have to? Ned, of course, does it for honor, does it for his family, but Tyrion, a little more selfish, and having no real good reason to confess is like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, so he does ask Kevin because Kevin gets ready to leave, he asks him to send him Varys, and he's like, I don't think that's going to happen. Varys is testifying against you tomorrow. So Tyrion kind of sits there for the rest of the night, just thinking about who he's going to be, how he'll be remembered. Again, highlighting the victor's right history, and that he's never going to be remembered for anything more than the monster that killed his nephew or the king. If he's remembered at all, which he will be for that act. Like, that will
Dude, it's
go
sick.
down
It's
in
a
history.
family of Kingslayers. It's fucking dope.
And so the very next day,
Varys, my boy. Speaking of, like, receipts, Varys has fucking all of them.
all of them.
Every single
Like, from the last 15 years, they're like, you realize you only need to keep 4 years of receipts
and
for
like
your taxes,
Varys
right?
is like straight up outing himself too. He's like, yeah, I heard that one, and I heard this meeting, and I heard this one,
Right,
and
he's
this one.
acknowledging all these points where he's had somebody listening, and he has them dated on papers.
But it's also
filed.
interesting that everyone is kind of just taking the word of these little birds,
Right.
Like,
And what Varys says.
and what Varys says with
It's
it, and
just
like,
true. Granted, we know that Varys is, based off of conversations he's had with others, intentionally making sure that everything he's providing is useful.
yeah.
Because the second he's not
he's
useful,
already told Tyrion he will do this. He like,
I have to.
This, yeah, right.
I will
like,
die
There's no
otherwise.
one to protect me, so like, yeah. And he's sitting there, and I like it because he's rubbing his hand, one hand over the other, over the other, over the other, and Tyrion thinks, washing my life away. And like, that's just a really
cool.
fun visual.
I do like, though, that Varys could very well do this. Varys could very, but that just sounds
Varys could do this. Varys
for
could do
anybody,
this.
for any one of these people in this entire
He
throne
could tank
room.
kingdoms. Like, that's Varys has so much power, and it's just on display here in this trial that, yeah, dude could literally fuck up entire kingdoms if he really wanted by showing these closed door.
As we know, he is trying. But we also
Slowly.
see that he has had Tyrion followed since the day Tyrion arrived in King's Landing. He knows everything that little guy has done.
But he doesn't bring up Shay,
he does not.
interestingly.
Yeah.
I mean, save it for Cersei's big reveal, but it's interesting that Varys isn't the one who outs Shay. Tyrion, of course, thinks he should have had his head long ago, not realizing that Varys is still truly one of his only allies in the city.
Right.
And is literally just doing this to protect himself. And then Varys' testimony takes all fucking day. And then Tywin's like, I think we've heard enough. Yeah,
We're
no.
good, we're
And
good.
Cersei's like, Father, please, just one more witness on the Mar. I think you'll love it. I think you're gonna love it.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be.
They're gonna pop out
the
of a cake.
showstopper.
It's gonna be amazing.
She does a whole song and dance. I
Look,
promise.
the pie.
So they call for the night. They convene, and that night in his cell, he hears voices, and he's like, "Oh, here's Kevin's nightly visit." But it is not Kevin. It is my boy, the
You
one,
dead boy.
the only. How dare you?
I
Not
said
yet.
I said
Not
it.
yet.
I like the conversation that they have here because they mention a lot of Dornish law, and
This conversation's pretty intense. They drink
right.
first. They drink some Arbor Red, which of
Shit.
course, Oberyn's
Trash.
like, this is piss water, but like, you know, I'll stomach it for now.
This is
And
your last chance to drink with a friend, so I'll give you that.
Cersei has straight up fucking offered Oberyn the world.
I'll marry you.
Like,
How about I marry you, and then you can come up here with me. We'll just fucking
holy shit.
Yeah.
We didn't, again, I love Oberyn. I loved Oberyn's portrayal in the show. Pedro Pascal, fucking stellar casting.
Shot that fucker
It's
to stardom.
One of the best, like, you know, portrayals of a character in the show, book, you know, sequence. I love this I will be your champion sequence, but they left out a lot. They left out this marriage proposal. Like, the fact that they made it more about Oberyn empathizing with Tyrion being the bastard black sheep Lannister.
Right.
And not at all the political machinations of, right, Cersei straight up offered to marry him. 1. 2, Oberyn is then like, like, so what would happen if we proclaimed Myrcella as queen instead of Tommen? Because Dornish succession, it just goes in line,
Right,
and
and
females can
Myrcella's
inherit, and Myrcella's older than Tommen. And so what's to stop my brother from, and funny enough, she's going to be married or is married to my nephew, and so he would be king.
And then I really like it because it leads down this train of thought of Cersei will hate it, but will she? Because Dornish law would then be...
Even Tyrion's like, I don't know who she would choose between Tommen and Myrcella, because to champion Myrcella's cause is to champion her own, because she fucking hates it that she can't get privilege.
She would then be next in line to inherit Casterly Rock, because she is technically older than Jaime. She came out first.
Who do you, like, if this happened, who do you think Cersei would back? Tommen? Or obviously Tywin would never let it happen.
It would be Myrcella for... see, because it's really tough, but I think that it would immediately jump into her head that, yes, I will get Casterly Rock, but why do that? If my daughter dies before then... Why
would she die?
I'm the queen. So it's that, like, if she takes care of Tristan and she loves her kids too much, and so I think that's what would stop her, is that she loves Myrcella and Tommen too much. She wouldn't be willing or able to kill Myrcella herself to take that throne.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
She doesn't want Casterly Rock. She wants the throne. And so I don't think
she wants power.
I think at this point she would not be willing to, because she's been the queen regent. If this was offered 5-6 years, but right before Robert, some shit like that, or right after Robert, who knows? Right now, I think she would be backing Tommen, because she's more likely to at least remain queen regent while he's still a child, and doesn't have to worry about Dorne taking over the throne. Which, if Tristan's the king, even if he's king consort, whatever it is, Dorne's still in power and more powerful than Cersei Lannister, the mother of the queen.
But Dornish power instills women's power.
Right.
And so it does champion her cause.
But that's the thing, is if anything happens to Myrcella, then does Tristan take over and continue as king, or does it then go to Tommen or it would
go to their children if they had children.
And so in order for Cersei to get the power of queenship, Tristan, Myrcella, any of their kids, Tommen, any of Myrcella's siblings, would all need to go before it would be passed to the mother, the queen mother.
Oh, yeah. And she takes a backseat as queen regent.
I don't think she would be. I don't think the power of taking Casterly Rock and being the Lord of Casterly Rock is enough for Cersei at this point.
Based on Feast and how much she wants to be Tywin, I think getting Casterly Rock would be enough for her. I think. I love this. Obviously, all hypothetical and speculation, but I think if it became a true power contender, I think Cersei backs Myrcella in this, because it does champion her own cause. She gets Casterly Rock, and while, yes, she gets a backseat as Queen Regent, she hasn't been doing shit as Queen Regent since Joffrey inherited. Tywin as Hand, Joffrey as King. She hasn't had power. So...
And I think that's what pisses her off.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think that,
but if taking Casterly Rock from Jaime, and like after Tywin and being that, and then also, her daughter is queen, and in far as Dornish rule, Myrcella is in charge, Tristan is consort type of thing. So but again, all speculation. It's just a fun what if. But I love that Oberyn postulates this, and Tyrion is straight up like, I don't know.
I don't know
what she does,
dude. Here. It could go either way.
So he talks about, of course, the Targaryen prince who tried to come down to Dorne, got a bunch of scorpions to the face, and Oberyn would prefer scorpions to the face than Cersei naked on him, which, as we know, is fucking insane in this world.
Right, Cersei's a gorgeous, beautiful, powerful woman.
Yeah, she's hot as shit. Like, she's one of the most desirable women in the Seven Kingdoms, and always has been, as far as, we've heard.
Right.
And so, Oberyn's want for vengeance is stronger, though. And that's where this turn starts to come in of, what happened, because he mentions the bear. I heard there was a bear. Oh, I'm sorry. The bear was at Harrenhal. And that confused me for a minute until I remembered that that's Amory Lorch.
Right.
That's Amory Lorch is the one who bashed in the head of Prince Aegon, dashed his head against a wall. And so that's one of Elia and her children's killers brought to justice. He was mauled by the bear. In fact, Jaime may have picked up his jawbone, which is just a fun.
Yeah.
But so that's handled. And then he's kind of surprised that even Tyrion because the big lie has always been that it was Amory
Tywin
Lorch.
that gave the command, though,
Well,
for the
that's
other
the hush-hush
right.
bit.
Well, and that's what Oberyn's
that's what he's after.
digging for.
But the big lie was that it was Amory Lorch who killed the children, and
the mountain was scot-free.
And the mountain was, like, didn't do anything. And so the fact that Tyrion owns up to Amory doing that bit, and then the mountain killing the other one and raping Elia, that's where Oberyn's like, oh, wow, you told the truth. Good for you. And then he lies
who
about
gave the command, and he goes,
order?
oh, so this is how far you. Well, even now, you're still.
Even now,
that,
even Tyrion's surprised. He doesn't know why he's still lying for his father.
Right.
And again, it's because you're as wrapped up in the rapture as Kevin is.
Right.
You still worship him.
Everybody thinks he's this all-powerful being,
untouchable being. Yes.
And so Oberyn's like, well, don't worry, I'll handle this. I'll take care of everything. You ain't got to worry a bit. And he's like, the fuck?
What's one of my judges gonna do? And he's like, not as your judge. I will be your champion, Pedro.
Remember we were talking about penis earlier?
I love Pedro.
This right here makes me, this is the guy.
Yeah, it makes me hard. I love it so much. We love Oberyn. I love Pedro Pascal as Oberyn. I love Oberyn in the book. I love this political Oberyn who is scary, dangerous, and a lot more. I love the intelligence on display here of him.
Yeah, it's this chapter here particularly, now that we're done with it, it's over.
There's lots of little bits. I do like him saying straight up, like, you are so horribly guilty, it makes me believe you're innocent. Because Mace is already like, he's guilty.
The evidence is so stacked against you that it just doesn't make sense there's this much evidence against you.
You can only be innocent,
right.
Yeah.
I like that this chapter in particular has me so fucking excited for Feast and all the shit going down in Dorne.
Dude, because it's Cersei's spiral. Like, we get to see Tyrion's spiral, and then Feast is Cersei's spiral, and Cersei's is a lot more fun because she lights shit on fire.
Because she burns down towers and shit.
So it's a phenomenal chapter. Tyrion is frustrating in his spiral because he's just not seeing the signs. He's not picking up on stuff. Oberyn coming in here hot at the late stage is phenomenal. Extra hot because he's Oberyn. And yeah, it's fun. It's good stuff. Yeah. As we know, it doesn't go so well for Oberyn and Tyrion, but Tyrion isn't completely ally-less in this city yet. He should be because he's acting a fool, but he isn't yet. So that was Tyrion 12, Tyrion 8,
9.
Arya.
We're going to go with Tyrion 9, Arya 12.
Right, Tyrion 9.
And then next will be Jaime 8. And so next episode, we're reading some Jaime. He is going to be hanging out in his new bedroom, his new quarters at the King's Guard Tower, which isn't actually a tower. It's like a corner of the wall that was made in white. Yeah, and he's going to be interviewing.
Yeah, he's going to be talking to his brothers and being like, what the fuck happened?
Who are you? What are you?
And also doing that to himself and being like, why am I here?
Right, because he's got the white book, and he's going to be reflecting a lot on...
There were a lot cooler people in this job before him.
I really like this upcoming chapter with Jaime, because he just had this big-ass trip with Brienne that's got him all introspective. He's looking at who he is, what he's accomplished, his family, the past, the history. There's a lot of thoughts on, Gerald Hightower and Barristan Selmy, a little bit of mention of Arthur Dayne.
The best
all
part...
these great figures.
There's no Kevin.
Who?
You're right.
Yeah. McAllister's putting together some
So
new
that's
traps.
the big takeaway of this Tyrion chapter is fuck Kevin Lannister.
Fuck Kevin. Well, we don't have to worry about that. Varys will take care of him soon enough.
Yeah, but that's 2 books away.
Well, that's all right.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts for Jaime upcoming. It was a lot of fun.
Send us an email, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com, if you want to talk about Tyrion, Jaime. Fuck it. If you want to talk about Silksong or Hades too, since we love that shit and it's all out right now, send us a message. Like, subscribe all our shit, share our stuff. The best thing you can do is share our stuff to your friends and, let us know how you feel. Join us for Jaime 8, then some Sansa afterwards. It's going to be good times.
We're finishing it up. Tyrion, I think, has 2 chapters left. And then we'll get you the count on Jaime after. But Jaime's coming down to the wire, too. We're almost at the end here, and then we're on to Feast. So get your bibs ready, because there's a whole lot to be feasting on, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Great. Valo de Harris.
Peace.